Hello, and welcome to this Omron webinar. My name is Katie, and I will be your Global Spec moderator. Now I would like to introduce today's presenter. With us today is Tucker Abe. Tucker is the Business Development Manager for the Energy Industry segment with Omron. And joining us for the Q&A session will be Zach Hendricks. Zach is a Product Manager for Relays with Omron. So with that, I'll pass things along to Tucker to get us started. Tucker, go right ahead.
Okay, well, thank you very much. Hello, everyone, and thank you for attending today's webinar. Again, my name is Tucker Abe, and I'm the Business Development Manager focused on the energy industry segment for Omron Electronic Components. And today I'm excited to be able to present our latest product offerings for high-powered AC and DC mechanical relays, as well as our brand new IoT weather sensor for energy applications. So in this webinar today, I'll be going over some of the key benefits and technical advantages that our PCB relays provide. Also review our full lineup of our high-powered relays. And then we'll highlight some of the new product releases, which we've released into the market recently. And then we'll showcase our relays and how they are used in our focus applications, which are PV inverters, energy storage system, and EV chargers. All right, so let's go ahead and begin. Okay, so first I'd like to briefly introduce our company as a whole. So Omron is a global company with $6.2 billion in revenue and consists of 4 business companies. First is the industrial automation business on the right-hand side, which consists of about 55%, and this is mainly for factory automation products. Second is our healthcare business on the left-hand side, which most people may know Omron for. And this is with our blood pressure monitors and thermometers, which you can find in big box stores. Next is social systems and solutions and service business. And this would be for social infrastructure devices, mainly for the Asian and European market. And lastly, we have our device and module solutions business, which is the division that I am a part of. And we offer component level products, such as, and also device and module level solutions as well. Okay, so our 4 product lines, our 4 core product lines include relays, which consists of 50% of our business. Next is switches. We also have sensors and modules and connectors. Okay, so this slide shows the 2 social issues which we are focusing on as a company to solve with the use of our technologies. So the first issue, or the social issue, is achieving carbon neutral society. And second is to realize a digital society. So we've identified 4 key growth domains to be able to solve these social issues. First is devices for DC drive. Second is devices for DC infrastructure, which is the domain that I am in charge of. Then next we have high frequency and remote and VR devices. Okay, so this slide shows our proposal when it comes to specifically the energy industry. And the social issue goal we have here is to achieve carbon neutrality. But with that being said, there are some industry challenges when it comes to deployment of renewable energy equipments. And that is, one is to minimize installation and maintenance cost. Second is to improve reliability and safety of these energy equipments. And third is to maximize power generation efficiency. So the value proposition that Omron provides is with the use of our technological know-how to be able to manufacture these high-powered PCB relays with very low heat generation. This is very important for heat dissipation design for PV and EV charging applications. Next is to offer our high-power DC relays, and this is for safe and reliable DC disconnection, especially when it comes to equipments that have high DC loads where arc can occur. And then lastly, remote monitoring with the use of our sensor products. So this is to prevent, sudden system downtime, and also to be able to use remote monitoring, so you don't have to send, people physically to the field, but they're able to develop these maintenance programs based on the data that they've collected from these sensors. Okay, so before we go into the technical details of our relays, I'd like to give a brief overview of the value of our PCB-based relays. Okay, so our value proposal is by utilizing Omron's low heat generation technology in our PCB relays. And with these products, our designers are able to shift from the use of large contactors into our smaller, more compact PCB solutions. So the technical advantages that we have with our relays is our low contact resistance. So it's very low and also repeatable and with high quality. Next is our PCB mounting type. So this is moved onto the board and it's very compact in size. And again, our proposal is to be able to replace the larger contactors. And what is the benefits that the design engineers and our customers are able to benefit from? So this is the reduction of overall production cost, and this is by less man hours and also less manual mistakes, which often takes place when it's not an automated type system. Next is to be able to offer a lower height and lighter product design with the use of our PCB relays. And next is the overall reduction in cost because you're able to reduce the different components, such as less wiring, heat sinks, and fans, which could easily add up the bill of materials. So ultimately, this leads to a more compact and cost-effective product design. Okay, so here's our full lineup of our high-powered AC PCB relays. And as Omron, we're continually expanding and developing this product line, not just for the AC side, but also for DC sides as well. Okay, so just want to highlight some of the, introduce these products here. So we have starting from our left-hand side, we have our residential PV inverter and energy storage system application products with our G7L PV. And then moving to the right-hand side, we have our latching relays. And we have our G9TA and G9TB. And we've seen an increase in usage for these products in our level 2 AC chargers. And then the remaining relays with our G7EB family, as well as our G9KA family, this is mainly used for commercial and industrial PV inverter, as well as DC fast charger application. Okay, so next I want to highlight our key product focus for our AC relay, which is our G9KAE. And this currently has the highest rated PCB AC relay in the market. Okay, so first I want to introduce how we developed this product and what the origin was. And in the recent years, there's been a trend in power conditioners or inverter systems to shift away from more of a centralized system to a decentralized system. So that in order to mitigate risk of having your whole system go down if this one single unit goes down. So by distributing power conversion across multiple units, such as this, you're able to mitigate the risk of power generation being halted by having one system go down. But with that being said, this is very capital intensive, and what companies were looking for is to be able to reduce cost and increase efficiency. They've used further units to be able to control more solar panels per unit, which increased the capacity of these power conversion systems, as well as having to use increased current for each unit. So this led to an issue of excessive heat generation within these systems. So by hearing, these issues from the voice of our customers, this is how our G9KAE was born. Okay, so this is the G9KAE specifications, and there are some features that were once thought to be unachievable, such as the switching ratings of 300 amps and 1000 volts AC, which is class leading. Also, a class leading contact resistance rating of 0.2 milliohms. and also a very large contact gap of 4 millimeters, which is able to satisfy PV inverter requirements. And lastly, a very small compact size, which I have here, which fits in the palm of my hands. And this is at 57 by 51 by 55 millimeters. Okay, so this is the key features that allow G9KA to have such low heat generation features. First is the unique structure of using double break and twin contacts to realize a low heat and also low contact resistance. Another factor that we were able to use to lower contact resistance is to use high electrical conductivity contact material composition. So that could also lead to contact welding. So we use a plunger type relay structure to be able to prevent contact welding, as well as realize higher endurance with lower power consumption. And lastly, we've designed well-designed terminals to realize higher heat radiation to be able to keep the temperature low within the PC boards. All right, so this slide shows the test data for the contact resistance and temperature rise test that we conducted internally. So on the left-hand side, we have our contact resistance test, and this is by putting a 6-volt DC and 300 amp load onto the relay, and for 30 minutes. And as you can see here, we have a starting initial contact resistance of 0.2 milliohms, and throughout the life of the relay, we were able to see only a very minimal increase of 0.3 milliohms max. And so it's able to maintain a very low contact resistance throughout this electrical life of 30,000 cycles. So how does that relate to temperature increase in the boards? So on the right side, we have our temperature rise test. And first, we have our conventional relay that you would find on the market, which has a potential of 0.4 milliohms contact resistance rating versus our G9KAE with 0.2 milliohms. So we put a load of 300 amps and 480 volts AC, and also an ambient temperature of 85 degrees to start out. And for the conventional relay, we saw a total temperature rise of 223 degrees Celsius, which is a net temperature rise of 138 degrees Celsius. Compared to our G9KAE, we saw a total temperature rise of up to 155 degrees Celsius, or a net temperature rise of 70 degrees Celsius. So this is a total difference of 68 degrees Celsius, which equates to 50% reduction in heat in the PC boards with our G9KAE versus our competitor products. Okay, so now to bring all this together and ultimately, what does the low heat relay mean for our customers and also their products? So there are many benefits, such as long life. So this is reduced PCB damage from thermal fatigue and components failure. Next is to be able to support high capacity applications with such small relays. Again, we're able to have cost reductions because we're reducing the heat dissipation mechanism, and also to be able to move from a large contactor which are more costly to the PCB solutions. Next is the energy saving factors. So there's a lot of energy loss from thermal energy whenever the PC boards have very high heat. So whenever we're able to keep that heat down, we're able to maintain the energy within the system. And the next is higher design efficiencies. So the design are able to be more simple because you don't have to use other peripheral heat dissipation mechanisms with heat sinks and heat fans. And lastly, to be able to downsize these systems on the boards, which ultimately leads to a downsizing of the equipments themselves. Okay, so as the trend moves towards a higher power and smaller compact size, G9KAE is able to meet the requirements for your next generation development within the PV inverter, EV charging, and energy storage system products. Okay, so next here is our product lineup of our DC relays. And to look at the medium labeled or light blue labeled product, this is our PCB mounting type. So we have our lower rated products with our G2RG, as well as our DC pre-charge or inrush current protection relays with our G2RGX, G9EJ, as well as our G5PZX. And then moving up into our high-powered DC voltage rating of our G7LX. So this is a very small relay, which I have in my hand here. Sorry, not that one. This one here. Yes. So this one here is very small in size, but also able to switch 1,000 volts DC. There's not many products in the market that's able to meet that requirements. Then next we have our G9KB. This is mainly for safety shutdown for residential energy storage systems, as well as commercial as well. And this is, again, another very small compact size product that's able to switch 50 amps and 600 volts DC. And then we also have our screw terminal types, which are products labeled in dark blue. So this ranges with our G9EA. And then as well as our G9EC, which goes up to a rating of 1,000 volts. And also the highest rated DC contactor with a rating of 300 amps with our G9EH. And then lastly, we have our under development DC contactors with our G9EK, which is no gas for diminishing arc. Okay, so next I'll be introducing our highlight product for our G9KB DC relay. Okay, so here are the specifications for our G9KB. And this has a contact gap of 3.6 millimeters, low contact resistance of 5 milliohms, also a very high rating of 50 amps and 600 volts DC. And also another key feature of this product is it is non-polar, meaning that it has bidirectional switching capabilities, and which I'll be going over in a second. And then again, very small compact size, and to be able to switch such high DC voltage and current. Okay, so this slide details how Omron was able to develop a DC relay that's able to switch very high loads without the use of gas to eliminate the arc. So the main difficulty in developing these types of DC relays is the ability to control and manage arc, which develops with very high DC loads. So typically this would require the use of gas to be able to diminish the arc, or another solution would be to increase the contact gap within the contacts, but this would increase the size of the relay significantly, which we did not want to go that route. So in addition to using the permanent magnets that's located near the contacts to be able to stretch and elongate and diminish the arc, Omron has developed a customized 3D arc simulation technology that not only considered, some of the physical features of the relay, but also considered what's considered to be invisible factors, such as temperature, pressure, flow, and magnetic field control. So with the use of our technology, we were able to do a lot of tests quickly and to develop a perfectly suited system that's able to diminish arc quickly and efficiently. So this led to the final design of optimizing terminal shape, also the magnet arrangements for arc movement, and lastly, a optimized structure to control the internal temperature, pressure, and flow within the relay. So another key feature of G9KB is its bidirectional switching capabilities at very high loads. So for battery applications, typically with a conventional relay, that are unidirectional or polar, this would require typically two separate relays, one for the charging circuit and the other for the discharging circuit. But with the use of our G9KB, since it is nonpolar and it does have the ability to be able to switch bidirectionally, both charging and discharging, as well as eliminating arc in both directions. Okay, so now we'll transition into the details of our focus applications. So as mentioned previously, G9KAE, which is our highest rated PCB relay, was originally developed for this application. And this offers high capacity, long life, compact form, and energy efficiency, which is perfectly suited for next generation PV, solar inverters, as well as industrial inverters as well. So here's a diagram of the PV inverter application. And we have our AC disconnection relays with our G9KA product families and G7AB product families. And this is mainly used for AC disconnection from the utility grid. We also offer our G7LX, which is used for DC discharging, as well as it can be used for rapid shutdown for PV panel systems. Next, we have our lower rated DC relays for ground fault detection. And here's a diagram of our hybrid solar inverter. So this is becoming very popular with the net energy metering 3.0 with solar plus storage. And what this allows is for the hybrid inverter to intelligently handle the loads from the solar panel, also manage the energy storage batteries, and the utility grid powering all at the same time. So similarly with the standard PV inverter application, we have our AC shutdown. But being that this is a residential application, we have our mid to low range of AC PCB relays. Next, the same DC relays for rapid shutdown as well as ground fault detection. And the key difference here with the battery system is the use of high-powered DC relays for DC shutdown. So we have our G9KB and G7LX. And then next, we have our pre-charge circuit, which is used to protect the peripheral circuits at the start of the battery charging. So we have our DC discharge and inrush protection circuit. So when the system is starting up, the DC discharge or DC pre-charge circuit would be closed, and it would be using our G7LX, also our G2RGX and G5PZX. And once the capacitors and circuits are charged, it would open and the main DC battery circuit would close. Okay, so the next focus application again is our energy storage system. And key products here are our high rated DC relays with our G9KB and G7LX. So again, this is very similar to the hybrid PV inverter system. We have our AC disconnection relays, our ground fault detection, as well as our DC relays for DC inrush protection and DC shutdown. Okay, and lastly, we have our EV charging application. So the relay solutions that we provide is our level 2 AC charging. So that you can use our high-powered PCB AC relay, as well as our latching relays, which are starting to become very popular for this application due to its very compact size. Also promotes less heat generation for safe grid disconnection. As for the DC fast charger application, this utilizes our high-powered AC relays, which allows for increased charger capacity, also for safe grid disconnection. And we've also seen the use of these relays for power sharing applications. Also, our high-powered DC relays can be used for the pre-charge and main battery circuit, similar to the energy storage systems. And lastly, we have our high-powered DC relays for bidirectional switching, which is starting to become very popular for V2X or bidirectional chargers. Okay, so here's a product diagram of a level 2 AC charging system. So again, we have our AC disconnection relays. In addition to our G9KA and G7AB, we have our latching relays as well. And then we also offer our our switches for connection detection. And then next, moving on to our level 3 DC fast charging of up to 22 kilowatt output systems. We have your similar AC disconnection relays. And then we also add our DC safety shutdown relays with our DC relays, as well as our pre-charge relays. And then same goes for the connection detection switches and the ground fault detection DC relays. And then lastly, we have our level 3 DC charging systems above 22 kilowatt output power. So the only difference here is that we're using larger DC contact ratings with our G9EK and G9EC for the DC safety shutdown, and everything else remains the same. Okay, so we also see another usage case with DC voltage switching circuits with our DC relays. So you may have your module systems, and you're able to use different relay configurations if you want to have high output power for, let's say, your electric trucks and buses and commercial vehicles. And then you can also have your different relay configurations if you want to use a lower power output voltage for passenger vehicles. And this uses either our high-powered DC contactors or our G7LX. Okay, so now shifting gears to our IoT weather sensor for PV monitoring. Okay, so this is our Omron weather sensor, and this is a new product line out of our IoT product line. And this high performance and compact sensor includes 7 sensors within this compact unit. So first you have your sunlight sensor here, and then you have your rainfall sensor on the top. And moving down, we have your ultrasonic wind direction and velocity sensors. And then in the main body part, you have your IoT gateway system for wireless communication using LTE Cat M1 or LoRaWAN systems. And then under this radiation shield, we have your temperature, humidity, and pressure sensors. Okay, so the key advantage with our weather sensor is that it is very small and compact system, so it's very easy to install. It's a plug-and-play system, whereas other weather sensors with the same functions may have multiple parts, which makes for a difficult installation process. Also, another key feature is that it's very easy to maintain because it has no moving parts, especially for wind direction and velocity, which most conventional sensors would have this moving mechanical part, which is less durable and also requires more maintenance. And then lastly, low operational cost with the use of our LTE Cat M1 and LoRaWAN wireless communication, which is used mainly to transfer lighter data set over a long period of long distance. All right, so the focus application that we're looking into is for solar PV monitoring. So the key issue that the market faces is the power performance ratio of solar panels are heavily affected by these weather parameters. So if you're able to remotely monitor the weather parameters, you can use that data to correlate to performance ratio of the solar panels. Another key market issue is that more than ever, you need a more high, precise, and concise measurement of these energies due to this new FIP rule. So again, the market needs is something that's remote monitoring, that's real time, quick, and also with less maintenance. And next is to be able to utilize these data from the weather parameters and to correlate the data with the power generation predictions based on those weather data. So the key technology here is that we're able to utilize weather data, again, to be able to correlate the performance ratio according to that data. And then you can also predict the power generation efficiency to be able to utilize how much power in the equipments, and also to be able to program and develop maintenance programs for the PV panels with the remote monitoring system with the weather sensor. Okay, so that concludes my presentation. So I just want to thank everyone for attending. And one thing I want to mention is that if anyone is interested in any of the products that were mentioned today, please feel free to reach out directly to our team. And of course, we can provide samples for testing. And we're also looking to partner with manufacturers of these products to discuss any sort of customization or feedback in the specification of these of our relays. And so again, feel free and let's discuss and let's collaborate and let's see we can develop the perfect relays for your equipments. Okay. So the two announcements that I'd like to make is first is our Omron Energy website. On our website, we have a applications by industry page, and this will highlight a lot of the products that we featured today, as well as other features with our sensors and other products as well. So please feel free to visit, and you may be able to find something that benefits your equipment. And then lastly, we have a big announcement, which is we are excited to announce that we will be having a booth and also a separate meeting room for the RE Plus trade show, which is the largest renewable trade show in North America. And this will take place from September 11th through the 14th in Las Vegas. So in addition to some of the products that we introduced today, we will be introducing our brand new developments, which we've never introduced before globally. And some of the examples are our energy management module for demand response systems, as well as EV charging. We'll also have a display of our autonomous charging robot with the use of our time of flight sensor. And then also we'll be presenting our brand new development relays at the show for the first time here. So again, please feel free to contact us, and we're looking to have one-on-one meetings with your company to be able to discuss more in depth on what our latest product developments are, and also what your needs are ultimately. And we have a lot of time slot openings for to be able to meet with our teams. So please, again, feel free to contact us and our team, and we'd love to meet one-on-one and to be able to meet and show our exhibit to the customers. Okay, so thank you very much for your time today, and really appreciate it. And thank you.
All right. Thank you so much for that great presentation, Tucker. So we are going to move into taking some questions from our audience at this time. So our first question today, gentlemen, what are some advantages that Omron's relays have over your competitors?
Yeah, sure. Thank you. So I did mention some of the key benefits in the presentation, but in terms of comparing to our competitors, so I would say three advantages. So first is the high switching capacity in each of the class of relays they belong to. So as I mentioned, with our G9K-AE has the highest rated PCB AC relay with 300 amps, 1000 volts AC. Which there's no other relay in the market, as far as we know, with such capacity. Similar with our DC relays as well, with G9KB and G7LX, with 50 amps, 600 volts DC, and also 1000 volts DC switching, respectively. There's no other PCB relays in the same class with that type of capacity, as far as we know as well. So, second, I would definitely say is our low contact resistance. So Omron has a very strong know-how in this technology. And this is really where we excel. So again, with our G9K-AE with the lowest contact rating in the market with 0.2 milliohms, whereas we see from our market analysis, we see competitors in the same class that are higher in contact resistance with 1 milliohm or so. And also, typically they have a lower current rating of about 270 amps. And lastly, I would really say is the compact size. So to be able to, have these industry leading high capacity with such small compact size, this gives us a huge advantage, which our customers, we can provide flexibility in their designs.
All right. Thank you so much, Tucker, for that answer. All right. Moving into another question here. This person is asking, please advise where to get 2 weather station sensors for testing and demo.
Okay, sure. So yes, so you can feel free to contact myself directly. I believe my contact information is there. Also, you can reach out to any of your local contacts. We have a full sales team that's based nationally, so we can certainly provide those samples for you for testing and provide any sort of technical support that you may need. And I'll be in charge of this project personally. So.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Tucker, for that answer. All right, another one that we have here. What is Omron's plan for future products?
Yeah, it's a very good question. So, especially with energy application and also with Omron's social goal issue of achieving carbon neutrality, we're fully committed to investing in expanding the lineup and really staying ahead of the curve. So, with that being said, we've had many NPIs that are focused on high-powered relays in the recent years. And what I can say now is that we do have new development relays for both AC and DC side, which we'll be mass marketing soon. So more to come on those.
Okay, great. Thank you so much for that answer. Just a reminder for attendees, using that Q&A window, putting in your question or comment and hitting submit is how you can ask us a question today. All right, Tucker, our next one here. What is contact resistance in a relay and how does it affect the overall performance?
Okay, sure. So I did mention contact resistance a lot in terms of that's our technical benefits, but so basic definition is the resistance between the contact terminals, which determines the ability to carry current. So this is believed to be one of the main reasons for temperature rise in the relays and the board. So, and heat rise is, really never a good thing as it shortens life. It could also cause welding, loss of efficiency, and, many other not good things. So if you're able to control the contact resistance, you can effectively increase the life, efficiency, and also the overall performance of the relays and the equipments themselves.
All right. Thank you so much for that answer. Okay, moving on to another question in our queue here. All right. This person is asking, what are some trends that you are seeing in the EV charging space, and what is Omron developing to meet these trends?
Okay, sure. So good question. This is certainly in that particular application with the EV charging. It's really a lot of technologies are moving very quickly. So it's something that we're always trying to look to adapt to and meet the needs of our customers. So one thing I would say, and I did mention in the presentation, is that we're starting to see for level 2 AC charging, we are starting to see a trend of using latching relays for their small size, low power consumption. And we're also very interested in surveying, the 80 amp charger market as well, and to see if there's if any of your companies make that product or planning to do so, I kindly ask to reach out to me and we can discuss some of our solutions there. In terms of other applications, maybe bidirectional chargers. So we're starting to see the need for bidirectional high-power DC relays. So again, they're non-polar and they're able to use for charging and discharging functions, such as our G9KB as mentioned. So this is starting to become very popular for this application as well.
All right. Thank you so much, Tucker, for that answer. We do have time for a couple more questions today. So this next one here, how is Omron's support?
Okay, yeah, so short and sweet question. So of course, I have to say it's amazing, but in terms of, I know this is a general question, but maybe in terms of our technical support, at least for your projects, you're going to be working directly with me as the application expert. And we also have Zach Hendricks, who is our product manager for relays. So he would be willing to assist as well. And we also have a full global management team, really, that surveys the applications globally. So we'll be able to provide expertise and also the latest technology trends for your needs.
All right, thank you so much. So just a reminder to our attendees, we do have all of those great items listed in the resource widget. Go ahead and click on that widget along the bottom of your screen and you'll be able to grab those, download them, or it will take you out to certain links where you can view videos and some other content. So feel free to grab those at any time today. This will also be available on demand, so you'll be able to come back and grab those at any time. All right, we have time for one or two more questions today. So Tucker, this person is asking, which relays mentioned are used for the board charging of EVs?
Okay. So I think they're talking about maybe onboard chargers. So in terms of our product line, so with our DC PCB relays, they're not recommended for onboard or in-vehicle applications, just mainly due to its vibration and shock specifications. However, with our screw terminal type contactors, which I did introduce, those are automotive grade, so they do have the necessary vibration and shock specifications for in-vehicle applications.
All right. Thank you so much for that answer, Tucker. So we're going to give everybody another minute or two to submit any questions that they might have. If you do have any last minute questions today, go ahead and enter those into the Q&A window and click submit. We'll give you another minute to enter any questions in before we end things today. And I'll give you a minute to grab those items from the resource widget. So if anybody does have a last minute question, go ahead and enter it now. For anybody that did not hear their question being answered, that just means we need to get some more information and we'll reach out to you following today's webinar. But for now, I am going to start to wrap things up today. So I want to say a huge thank you to Tucker for giving us such a great presentation and for answering some of our attendees' questions. Tucker, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you all for taking time to attend this webinar today. Take care, and we will speak with all of you soon.